sports competition, folks talk about the home field advantage. Odds makers figure it can be the difference in winning or losing. In professional bass fishing, the home lake is viewed as a big plus. Today, our Bassmaster's cameras are at the BP Top 100 at Lake Lanier near Atlanta, Georgia. Local knowledge is everything. Lanier is a deep, clear, difficult fishing assignment. Lanier-based pros on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail usually dominate the standings when the tour stops here. Mickey Bruce of nearby Buford, winner here of the 1983 Super BASS Tournament, is always a threat. Mann Jr. of Buford knows Lanier's deep water holes and has the reputation as the best spotted bass angler on the lake.
The cover that I'm fishing mostly is natural standing timber, stumps on old creek channel drops, and some man-made brush piles. I can usually catch my bigger fish off the natural structure versus the man-made brush piles. I do catch fish on brush piles, but they tend to be smaller fish.
Veteran pro Clifford Kraft of Swanee is a local favorite. He can go with the flow, fishing deep for spotted bass or capitalize on big largemouth bites shallow. But if this BP Top 100 is to be won with spotted bass, don't discount Doug Youngblood of Sugar Hill. When not following the bass tour, Doug guides on Lake Lanier. His specialty is catching finicky fish. Spotted and largemouth, don't confuse them. They're cousins, both bass, but different creatures of habit. While the sleek-built spots dwell in clear water, deeper structures, largemouth live more upriver, a pot-belly brawler located in trashy neighborhoods, hiding in ambush, waiting to smash its prey, and where a Bassmaster prays his line is stout enough.
Come here. All right, thank you. Thank you, strand line.
Largemouth anglers versus spotted bass fishermen, locals against the visitors. This BP Top 100 fish-off is shaping up to be real interesting. I'm Bob Cobb. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back from Georgia's Lake Sidney Lanier.
Holiday Marina on Lake Sidney Lanier in northwest Georgia. Site of the $291,000 Bassmaster BP Top 100 tournament. An entry list of 103 pros, the best from the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's tournament trail, paired with amateur fishermen. In this Pro-Am format, the professionals ante the big bucks, a $1,500 entry fee, and cast for the big cash jackpot, a first place award of $46,000. They change partners daily during the 4-day competition. The amateurs plunk down $400 for a chance to win a $19,000 fully rigged Ranger bass boat. Pairings are computer draws. And if you're in the amateur division here at Lake Lanier, you hope to be paired with a local favorite, like Mann Jr. But today, you might not be feeling so lucky. It's going to be a rough day of fishing. Strong winds with gusts over 25 miles an hour. And Mann wants to fish the deep structure, located in open water, where there's no place to hide from the wind. With the bright sunny conditions, Tom is fishing an icicle color 4-inch plastic worm. The Zoom Bait Company's Dead Ringer, rigged Texas style with a 1/4 ounce bullet weight, a 2/0 hook, and an 8-pound test line. Boat control is critical to Tom's lure presentation. He's fishing main lake ledges or drop-offs in water 25 to 35 feet deep. The bass are holding on stumps or brush near the drop-off, so the fish are suspended in the top of standing timber. The bite is tricky in this rough water. Using a vertical presentation, Tom's doodling or shaking the rod and the soft plastic worm to trigger a spotted bass to strike. He's got the magic touch and working on a 7-bass daily limit. Wind and rough waters handicapping local pro Doug Youngblood, too. In 8 years of guiding here, he's planted his share of deep water brush piles. But unless the wind lets up, it may be near impossible for Doug to work his best holes. Today, he's scrambling, trying to pick up a few fish on spinnerbaits cast on the windy banks. The late fall pattern pays off when the bait fish are washed onto the windward shore and bass move up to feed. And And at this afternoon's weigh-in, as predicted or expected, a Georgia pro has the heavy bag. But Stanley Mitchell of Fitzgerald is not a homegrown local pro. He rarely fishes Lanier, but he knows how to catch largemouths, 16 pounds, 5 ounces today. The cream comes to the top on the first day leaderboard. Stanley Mitchell takes a 5-ounce lead on Tommy Martin of Texas. Both are former Bassmasters Classic champions. Mark Davis of Arkansas is third, followed by local favorites Tom Mann Jr. and Doug Youngblood. Tom Mann has to make up over 3 pounds, but still likes his chances.
I didn't really get to fish about half of my real good spots today because of the wind, 20 and 25 mile-an-hour winds on this lake, and you're trying to fish deep structure. It's just mortally impossible. So, I'm just gonna have to fish where the wind will let me.
Well, day 2 of the Bassmaster BP Top 100. Overnight, the conditions change. No wind to fret about today, but upriver there's concern about the falling water temperature. It may kill the largemouth bite, as Guy Aker in 8th place knows.
These fish are real sluggish. They won't hit something real fast, nothing real big. You got to take a little bitty bait. I'm using a little bitty baby Ian Norman, and I'm winding it real slow on the 12-pound clear magnethan line. Easy, boy. Easy now, easy. Up in here.
With the light winds and bright sunny skies, Tom Mann Jr.'s chances are improving tremendously.
That's the limit.
Doug Youngblood is fishing in the same Shoal Creek area as his buddy Tom Mann. Between them, they've marked dozens of deep water structure spots. However, Doug has a backup plan. He's fishing near floating boat docks. Schools of spotted bass suspend under the docks. Youngblood is doodling, continually shaking a 4-inch thin plastic worm near the docks in the vicinity of submerged standing timber. In his experience, docks near such flooded timber produce the larger spotted bass. Tom Mann is working on a 13-pound catch today, and he's hooked up with what he calls a magnum-sized spot. The end of round 2. Chalk up a good day for the local favorites, but hold the applause for Stanley Mitchell. He's still very much alive in this tournament.
Folks, he is up there holding on like a wildcat. 12 pounds, 12 ounces. Let's give him a super hand. Great job. Now pick up a couple of these guys. He's got a nice largemouth and a nice spot, so that'll be interesting to see the difference, shoulder to shoulder. And look at the difference in the markings of these fish. We'll let you see them in just a second completely. Yeah, I'm surprised that you were able to double up.
Well, I was really tickled, Ray. I really thought with the wind dying down that it was going to hurt my fishing, and it did. I had to change patterns today. I think maybe if the weather gets a little more windier, maybe I can catch a bigger string. I don't know. I'm just real fortunate to catch the ones I've already caught.
With a 2-day total of 29 pounds 1 ounce, Stanley Mitchell hangs on to the lead, but just barely. Doug Youngblood jumps to second, and Tom Mann Jr. climbs to 3rd place. Youngblood scored a 15-pound 7 bass limit of spotted bass. But watch out. Here come the largemouth boys. Denny Brower with the day's best string of 16 pounds 7 ounces vaults from off the leaderboard to 6th. Tommy Biffle with the day's big bass of 6 pounds 3 ounces moves up to 4th. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back with day 3 action in the Bassmaster BP Top 100 from Georgia's Lake Lanier. Day 3, the Bassmaster BP Top 100, Lake Lanier, Georgia. The weather outlook, overcast skies with light variable winds. Not what the leaders ordered. The fish will be holding off structure. Tournament leader Stanley Mitchell isn't doing anything special. He's throwing a white spinnerbait.
I fished a lot of deep brush during practice. And I really wasn't doing much good in the deep brush. So once once I did that and couldn't do any good, I love to fish shallow water anyhow, so I thought I better do what I know how to do best. And it's paid off the first 2 days anyhow.
Doug Youngblood in second place has adjusted with the overcast conditions, and it's paying off.
He'll make it. No, but back to what I was gonna say, we moved up a little bit shallower. We had a front come in, it's real overcast today, and all these fish seem to be about 10 to 15 foot on the back corners of these docks, around a lot of these poles on the back end of these boat docks. But I caught them in practice out deep in that brush on that main lake. We build a lot of brush out on that main lake, but a lot of times when you have cloud cover come in like this, it just scatters them out. You see them out there suspended way over the brush piles, but they're hard to catch when they're suspended like that. Those good fish I caught yesterday, oh, God, missed them. We're out there deep, 30 feet deep, but we had real sunny conditions, and that was perfect for that kind of fishing.
Tom Mann Jr. is sticking with his deep structure holes.
I don't feel like I can change my way of fishing. I just got to believe he'll bite sometime today. I'm not going to really change very much. I'm just going to run the same pattern, and I know I'm not going to catch the amount of fish I caught, but hopefully I can catch a limit.
Loading a limit may not be a problem for Doug Youngblood today, but he needs a big bite if he's to gain the tournament lead.
That's 6 right there.
Tommy Biffle in fourth place hasn't had many bites, but
Come
the
here,
big
boy.
mouths that strike are big.
No, I'll get him. Come here. All right.
Biffle is definitely on a big fish pattern, but a fragile one. Water temperature is the key. Upriver, the temperature ranges from 46 to 51 degrees. Biffle is flipping a jig in shallow water trash. When the sun's out, the water here is a bit warmer. His fish don't bite till midday, but then look out.
Come on, big boy. Come here. All right, thank you. Thank you, strand line. Strand line.
The spotted bass fisherman may be in trouble. At the day 3 weigh-in, more and bigger bragging bass come to the scales. Paul Elias of Mississippi scores with a 9-pound, 9-ounce lunker largemouth. But Missouri's Denny Brower steals the spotlight.
16 pounds and 4 ounces, folks. There is your leader, and I would imagine that's going to put him awful close to the top. We'll know in just a minute. Puts him in first place. Bob Cobb just informed me. This is a new leader.
Denny Brower, with back-to-back 16-pound catches, moves on top the leaderboard. Tom Mann Jr. climbs to second place, 1 pound, 5 ounces behind. Doug Youngblood slips to third. Tommy Biffle hangs on to fourth. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back with a showdown round of the Lake Lanier Bassmaster BP Top 100. Day 4, final round of the $291,000 Bassmaster BP Top 100. Weather-wise, it's no bargain. Cold, near freezing, and the wind chill is worse, northerly at 25 miles an hour. But this could help tournament leader Denny Brower.
So, you know, this wind could be an advantage for me as far as making it a little more difficult for some of the guys to fish their water. But if they're able to fish it, there's a lot more fish at the depth they're fishing than the depth I'm fishing. I'm fishing for fewer bites, but better quality fish. If I can get my bites, they're going to have to beat me.
The wind may be bad news, but the good news for Tom Mann Jr. is the skies are clearing.
I'm fishing basically 25 to 35 feet deep. And when you're fishing that deep, you pretty much got to have some sun to get the fish concentrated right on the structure that you want to fish.
Doug Youngblood's forced to fish his backup spot out of the wind, but he's getting bites. The sun breaks out of the overcast and Tom Mann begins to shine. But they're biting for Doug Youngblood, too. This is going to be a shootout between best bass and buddies. Tom Mann desperately wants this one. He's been so close in previous BASS tournaments on Lake Lanier, his lake. He's finished 2nd, 4th, 4th, and 9th. At the Day 4 weigh-in, it's an anxious moment for local fishing fans and anglers as the final catches come to the scales.
And that's Tom Mann Jr., famous fisherman from this part of the country. He's a dynamite fisherman, folks. He has a limit of bass, 7 keepers. He had 7. Let me get sure that water's all off of there. And we weigh him carefully. 14 pounds, 4 ounces. I tell you, folks, I believe that's gonna. I know it puts him in the lead. Boy, I tell you what, folks. Let me tell you what. That's when 4 days of fishing and this kind of competition. I don't care where you live. That's fine fishing.
And the final standings. Tom Mann Jr. breaks the code. He wins on his home lake with 52 pounds 9 ounces, worth $46,000. His Bassin buddy Doug Youngblood finishes 2nd with 48 pounds 15 ounces. Doug collects $30,000. In the amateur division, Larry Franks of Birmingham, Alabama was the winner with 25 pounds 1 ounce. He took home a $19,000 Ranger bass rig. Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man.
This is basically the rig that I used to win the tournament. It's a 4-inch long, dead ringer, icicle-colored zoom worm with a 1/4 ounce sinker, 8-pound XT trilene line, and a 2/0 Gamakatsu hook. As you can see, rig, normal Texas rig. The key to me winning this tournament, normally this time of year, most of the fish are right on the bottom. And we just toss the worm out, let it go to the bottom, engage our reel, and start shaking or doodling the worm. But the key to me winning this tournament, I found in practice, a lot of the fish were suspended right in the tops of the trees. I found on my bottom line graph that every time I ran over a standing tree or a brush pile, that I just kept seeing fish all over the top of it. So what I started doing, I started the same kind of deal. I dropped my worm down, let it go to the bottom. When I got to the structure, I would actually bring my worm all the way up till I felt like it was on the very top limb, and then just shake it violently like so. and that's when I caught most every one of my big fish. And I feel like that little difference right there was the key to me winning the tournament.
Congratulations to Tom Mann Jr. It's not easy to win on your home lake. Too many times you remember where you always caught them and end up fishing for memories. But Tom, he beat the home court jinx. Now next week our Bassmaster cameras return to Lake Eufaula for the $188,000 Alabama Invitational and some sure enough faded memories. This is where Blake Honeycutt in 1969 set the all-time bass record tournament catch of 138 pounds. Hope you'll join us. For the Bassmasters, I'm Bob Cobb. See you all next week.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by BP, a leading producer of oil and gas.